Hey, it's Kevin Franklin from 343 Industry. I'm here to answer all the questions of the IGN readers on Halo 5 Guardians. My favorite and the most risky is Ground Pound by far. That one early in development, we weren't sure whether it would just come off as a gimmick or whether it would be actually something we could really build into the experience. The team spent a crazy amount of time tuning it and refining it to get it just right. We launched the beta and then we ended up changing the interaction completely. But I've found that even in the most competitive games with pro players, it is always a huge thrill when someone pulls it off. We've also started an entire culture around whether or not we should have put the word pounding in the game and how often we put the word pounding in the game. So that was part of the difficult development process for sure. Ooh, that's a great question. I think the biggest map that we tried to show this off on was Raid on Apex 7, which is the spiritual successor, we think, to a Silent Cartographer. So in this case, we tried to take a campaign mission from Halo 1 and reimagine it as a 12-on-12 Warzone experience. We had an incredibly talented group of devs on this. Jeremy Raymond was our level designer, Matthias was one of our artists on it, and we were able to build this massive tropical paradise, sort of fulfill that legacy of being on a Halo ring and getting that feeling of that nice, beautiful green tropical environment, plus have all sorts of new gameplay in it that fit with the mystery, everything running on the beach to going into all these caves and stuff to hunt the AI. So it really kind of came together as a statement of how we've tackled that sort of challenge on Halo 5. I'm gonna give one away here. We wanted to make an underwater Warzone match. So if you play Fathom, it's an underwater base, and we were like thinking, man, wouldn't it be great to make an underwater Warzone game? We ended up not being able to do that because we wanted to focus on just delivering the Warzone experiences we are and knocking them out of the park. We did get the Space Whale into Fathom, which has become a huge fan favorite, Timmy the Whale as we call him, so keep an eye out for him. I think so. I mean, I've never been the best person at story because I'm a multiplayer focused developer, and when the people get too much story, I get a little bit confused really easily, or I have to ask my friends what's going on. So if you're playing co-op, I think that's a really good way to do it because I'm usually off running around looking for a sniper rifle, and my teammates will kind of help me with what's going on. But I think it was a goal of our narrative team to give this story a lot of depth if you're really looking for it. So if you explore the environment, if you look for some of the Easter eggs, if you look for the data logs, you're going to find more about the story. But at the same time, we wanted it to be easy to understand for people who are new to the franchise as well. Well, in multiplayer, I just hate dark levels. I can't stand when it's really difficult to find the other team. I think it's really important in MP to be able to know who your adversary is, where they are, and be able to communicate that to your teammates. So bright levels are always a big focus for us when we build MP, and I think it was one of the great discussion points we have with our art team is how we can deliver a really good-looking, bright MP experience. It's not all over the top. We do have some darker levels. Our city level is a good example of where it's a little bit darker, but overall it's a good, bright experience. Not for Halo 5. I mean, it's something we're totally interested in doing, but for us to get Warzone off the ground in Halo 5, it's our first time we've ever done it before. We had to just focus on delivering it as is. I think remakes are always something you're going to be seeing to some degree in Halo. We don't just like to completely copy them, and really we can't anymore because the way the maps have evolved. So you saw with Midship, we have Truth and Regret, which are two spiritual successors that we've got into Halo 5, and we hope we can have more in the future on Halo. So that's a great question. I mean, I look at all the vehicles through Halo Wars and up to now, and there's a wide variety of the way we can take UNSC. The redesign for the Scorpion tank was mostly because we just couldn't put it in exactly as is. And our art team, they wanted to put their take on it. They wanted to make their version of the Scorpion tank. And I think if you get to the second you get your hands on it, you're just going to love it. It is so much fun. That shell just like wrecks in Warzone. So on top of that, we have some variants of the tank that you're going to get through the Requisition system. So there isn't just the Scorpion anymore. We've also got some variants. Great question. So as soon as you start in Warzone, we're going to give you a whole bunch of packs, so you're not going to be without them. And also, as you play in Arena or Warzone, you're going to be earning lots and lots of new wrecks. You're always going to have a good amount of content available to you. Also, we never wanted a player to be able to spend a bunch of money, get 5 Scorpions, and call in 5 Scorpions right away and just wreck. We were thinking balance the entire time. Balance, balance, balance. So in Warzone, you're going to have to work with your team, kill AI, kill enemy players to increase your personal level and get energy within game with our in-game progression loop. Once you've gone high enough, then you can call on the wrecks, and then you really have to earn the ability to call those in. So that really helps us enforce balance across the board. On the tuning side, we had to retune them for all the changes in the sandbox. So just the speed at someone's sprints, the thrust, all like the moving to 60 frames a second, these are all great reasons we really need to redesign the exact balance of the weapons. And the visuals, I mean, we're never going to really take a weapon and make it look exactly the same as before. We're always thinking how we can improve it with things like the SmartLink system, how we can make it just look better because we're running on better graphics on the Xbox One, and you know, push the franchise forward. Right, well, we have shown off some of the Forge maps in our beta. We had 2 Forge maps that we showcased, Pegasus and Orion. On top of that, all the breakout stuff that you're seeing at launch is forgeable, and we're going to be announcing more details on exactly when Forge is launching at a later date. But if you look at them, you can start getting some thoughts on, okay, how am I going to reconfigure this breakout corp? Because we're really looking at the community to help us redefine these breakout experiences and push them forward. On top of that, we've been working closely with the cartographers, and there's a group of community members in-house at 343. Just before I left on this trip, they were there working on Forge maps. So we are really taking to heart the needs of the community. We want to have more information to share, and it is something we're definitely going to be doing. Master Chief, I think, you know, this is way in the future. This suit is pretty incredible. This isn't a real franchise opinion, but it's got to be like integrated into the suit somehow. And then maybe an eject button. I'm not completely sure.